Alright. Sultai Vannifar up next. Have you tried Dreadhorde Butcher? We've not played Dreadhorde Butcher in any decks yet, no. I missed the ending yesterday, but did you like the Ral Storm Conduit combo deck? I didn't like Temur Reclamation, but that's mostly because Temur Reclamation is miserable to play with and against, in my opinion. We didn't lose any matches with it, though. I really liked the Steamkin Ral deck that we played. I did like the Steamkin Ral deck that we played. Alright, Sultai Vannifar. For people not familiar, Vannifar in this context refers to Prime Speaker Vannifar here, which allows us to kind of toolbox through our deck here to find various creatures at different converted mana costs to get different activations and tools going. From the new set, let's check out a couple of things. Spark Double is kind of cute to allow us to like copy our Viviens or get 2 Prime Speaker Vannifars going, which is kind of sweet. Vivien's Arkbow is also interesting. It's another way to kind of generate card advantage and convert cards that would otherwise be dead in the late game into something that's useful. One thing that I think is worth noting about this build is that the way this particular deck is constructed, we're pretty susceptible to aggressive decks. Like, I would expect to have a very hard time against both white and red, probably blue aggro too, honestly. The lack of the Wild Growth Walker package in this deck means that we just like don't really have good tools to be efficient in those matchups. So with this particular build, we're definitely more interested in being able to play against more mid-range control and maybe reclamation style decks than opposed to aggressive decks. In my opinion, trying to build a deck that is focused on just Ral comboing, as opposed to having the Ral combo be this afterthought idea in a deck full of otherwise good cards, is probably a mistake. I think if your Ral combo deck is going to be successful, it's likely going to just be a deck full of good cards, like also has the Ral combo in it. We did play Niv Friends. Niv, as predicted, was very bad. Uh-oh. Speaking of Ral, Steamkin. A $10 donation or a 1,000 bit cheer gets a deck added to the queue. You can always find all the details about how to add a deck to be played on my website here. No blocks. Yep. If they have a third land here, we're in a lot of trouble. Yikes. So I get to pop this off and play another one here. I just don't really have a lot going on here. I think I just have to Hostage Shaker and, like, hope I get to untap with this. Even one Steamkin probably means we're pretty likely to die, though. Shout out to Drool's Everyday's father. Well, that, Yep. Yep. If they're a professional, the card they drew for the turn will be a risk factor.
There's a storm coming your way.
Whew, just a crash through. God bless. It's a lot of triggers. He wants to make it clear that he's the original Drillster. Sounds good. Yeah, both Rail and Expansion Explosion felt like they were solid upgrades to the Steamkin deck. The deck the opponent is playing is the deck that we played yesterday. That was our deck of the day. It is super powerful. We just don't have any outs here, right? Alright, Moment of Craving. I don't have that many threats, so Plaguecrafter's probably reasonable here too. Muldrotha and Vivien are kind of slow and clunky. Thief of Sanity just dies. I think Duress actually isn't very good here. The opponent's deck just has so many cantrips in it that, like, they're gonna redraft you, take their thing away. I don't know what Storv does. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, planeswalker, return to your hand to a creature, planeswalker that wasn't put there this combat. I don't know, that seems kind of win more. Like, once you have your Vannifar going, you don't need, like, an additional thing that's, like, also kind of clunky and awkward. Like, I get it, when you get all your EDH cards together in Standard and they all survive, they're, like, really good together, but generally speaking, you want to have, like, cards that are less clunky on average. If that deck really picks up in popularity, could it lead to Damping Sphere, seeing play in the Cyber? I'd be very surprised if Damping Sphere became a playable card. I don't know, 4 mana 5/4 isn't really an aggressive stat line in this format. Dimir Spy? Have you read Nullhide Ferox? There's an aggressive stat line. Hit me, baby, one more time. Do 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 do.
You can't stop nature.
Sure. I'm building Bolas Citadel with the Explorer package and Wayward Swordtooth. Any ideas for win conditions? But I fear I won't be able to do much against control. I mean, it's probably just like a mess of Planeswalkers, right? That's probably mess of Planeswalkers, usually the answer against control. Alright, one of your finest hostage takers, please.
Balance comes.
I'll take her for next turn. I do think I just need to take the, Oh, could I have... I messed up here. I could have played this untapped and adapted this, and then played the Chupacabra, which is a pretty big deal when I have Hydroid Krasis in my hand. Definitely missequenced there. This adaptability effectively costs 3 mana. Would you like to light up the stage, opponent? This game's going much better for us. The games were able to, like, keep their Steamkins and other things like that in check are usually pretty good. This deck is not playing the new Kiora. We kind of have limited spots to fit in things that aren't creatures.
Meet my newest friend.
So if I would have activated the other one of those that was in play last turn, it wouldn't have died. Which would have been ideal. That being said, it looks like even with that mistake, we're pretty far ahead here. Vivien's at 8. We've got a pretty dominating board state. We're still at 18, so we're not at risk of getting burned out. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. I don't think any of those seem particularly relevant. We beat Vivien Alt on stream with Red-White Prison 2 seasons ago. That was kind of funny. This hand's probably not good enough, right? Like, it doesn't have any removal spells in it. It doesn't have any acceleration. Again, it's our plan going very quickly, so take a mulligan here. Perfect. Never didn't have it. Scale of 1 to dead. Where's this elf at? Solidly on the dead side of the scale. Got it. Prowler's not really acceleration when the thing we're trying to accelerate into is a 4-drop. It's so weird that a mana creature has Death Touch and Lifelink. What a strange card. Rude. Mantis Man, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. What's the best deck in the format? What was the best deck last season? All the decks that were good last season are still good now. That one. Yep. You know, they didn't kill this one last turn, so I'm gonna gamble and hope they can't kill either of them this turn. Sign me up. I've not. 0. trigger. And honestly, we're kind of still behind here, right? Like, I'm at 9. I don't have any life gain in sight, and my opponent has a bunch of cards in their hand that we know aren't lands because they're missing land drops. Thank you, Teroka. Think I just played this so I could start attacking with a 2/3 lifelinker. This is a Spark Double, which comes into play with the 1/1 counter on it. Yikes. Well, their hand seems to be very bad at the moment. If it stays bad, maybe we have a chance. Like, trying to think what they could possibly have here. They have just, like, a bunch of Rals. Like, if they have, ooh, they're not. Okay, bottom, 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 top. Alright, well, that's terrifying. I can only assume the fact that that just went on top of their deck means we're dead. I think I need to kill their Ral. They could go block, 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 and then Ral still dies. This attack gains me 2 off the Leyline Prowler as well, which is nice. That being said, I feel like there's a chance they have another Ral in their hand. And if they kept a card on top, that could mean that we're kind of screwed next turn regardless.
I should really get back to the lab.
I have 4/4 Oozes at least now, so they attack through field. The good news is, when they pull counters off the Runaway Steamkin, the Moment of Craving kills it, so that's nice. And knocks me up to 12. Oh! Their hand is just a bunch of expansion explosions. That makes sense. Alright, so I'm gonna end up at 6 here at a minimum. They're drawing 3 cards. So we could just die here. I'm at 6 and they have 3 cards in their hand. It is a good thing we killed Ral. Wow, seems good. And I'm just playing this out as a 2/2 because I just want every point of life possible at this point. Thank goodness for the resolve all button, right? Yeah, I think so. I didn't count, but if they could have survived that combat without losing their fields, they definitely should have. Although their hand could have been bad enough that maybe it just didn't matter, but if they hit, like, Tormenting Voice and other things, they definitely could have snowballed back into that with fields, I think. How are we doing, folks? Welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for dropping by here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, sometimes even 50 hours a week. If you're someone who enjoys standard, best of free constructed, this is definitely a channel for you. We play a ton of different decks here, and we change decks every 60 minutes to 2 hours, so we get a lot of variety here as well. As always, I'd love to give a shout out to my wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support, so thanks to all of them for keeping me employed here. I'd also like to plug that if you're one of the many people in the world that is Amazon Prime, if you link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, you get Twitch Prime included with that for free, and that gets you a free channel subscription every single month to a channel of your choice here on Twitch. It doesn't cost you anything, and it still supports whatever content you're subbing to all the same. I'd also like to plug a couple of my wonderful sponsors before we get back to the Magic. The Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series, a $5,000 cash tournament series that happens every single month in the Midwestern United States. If you can't make it out to the Midwest to play in one of their standard, modern, or legacy tournaments, be sure to check out their streaming coverage as well at twitch.tv/NRG series. BCW Supplies are the only ones I trust to protect my very valuable paper Magic the Gathering cards. Using code Jeff10 at bcwsupplies.com, you can save 10% on sleeves, binders, deck box, and all sorts of other fantastic gaming accessories there with them. And of course, Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bars. You checking out link bit.ly/HugoBar. You can save 10% on your orders there with them. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. I know there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now, and I appreciate you spending part of your Friday here with us. Everyone's having a great kickoff to your weekend. Heading on into our next match here with Sultai Vannifar. Easy mulligan. It has all of our colors in it. Hopefully there'll be some spells that roll off the top of our deck, but definitely what we're looking for here, right? Lands and an accelerant. Should put a beat on while we wrap the sponsors? Maybe. Bomb Squad Mike checking in for the second month with that Twitch Prime. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me here. Grixis, Hey, Carmenova, thanks for the 20 months. Welcome back. Well, my poor little elf is not long for this world, it seems. I think I just run this out to not get carnage later. Yeah, having cards in my hand is overrated, really. I'm gonna attack to send a message here. Let them know who's in charge. Assert dominance, etc. Alright, if I draw a land next turn, I can actually hostage take and play their Bolas. Thanks to my friend the Druid. I have no idea, Garth. I don't really play limited. Just saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Oh, look at this incredibly castable Dragon God. Yikes. Yikes. Ooh. Trade Z's. Z's. Great. The Dragon God is here.
I will spare you. In exchange, your existence is pointless.
Your existence is pointless. Your existence is pointless, Dragon God. Get hostage taker.
Conceivable.
You also really don't want to flip your opponent's Nicol Bolas. You will not be happy with the result. If you flip a stolen Nicol Bolas, it comes back into play under your opponent's control. Says that as an FYI.
Stupid, but effective. Rise.
9, 5, 9. Did I just get Prime Speaker here? What does Prime Speaker do for us? Is it just Muldrotha? Yeah, it's probably just Muldrotha. Cast a land. That's excellent verbiage. Well, let's start by casting a land out of our graveyard here. Do I win if I keep Muldrotha? No, I think that puts me... I think that puts me too far behind. 4, 5. They have 4 blockers. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, War of the Spark cards for Esper Amulet. No, I don't think that archetype's very good. Dark Magi. Alright, so they get to draw 3 cards here.
Ugh, I hope you wash your hands first.
No, I don't think I win that way.
Death is in life.
I think I'm more likely to win with them drawing some cards here. There aren't Moment of Cravings in my deck, Drool. That definitely kills Hydroid Krasis. If they have the Amass Sweeper here, I'm gonna be in trouble. And the Niv deck from earlier was really bad. Yeah, Bow's super powerful. Very good tool against these control decks. Lets us convert like lands and stuff into actual resources, which is great.
suffer for your cause.
Smelly, but effective.
I don't really have good attacks here. I can send like 3 things at Nick to guaranteed get him off the table, which is probably decent. I think I like this attack. I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 mana at the moment.
Waste not, want not.
Oh, I guess I could Findbroker for Hostage Taker, basically, because I have the Spark Double. I think I'm just going to draw 5 here. Yeah, the timing on Bow is also very sweet. I didn't broker the Muldrotha and replay it, so I want a large evasive creature in play that can pressure the Liliana if they don't have a removal spell. Because the Liliana is the thing keeping them in this game right now, so I just want to get rid of her.
Rise and shine.
Nice. That was kind of impressive. We like outground their Planeswalker. Dive down might be okay here. Chupacabra seems a little bit medium. I think I want to just trim some of my mana creatures. Like Leyline Prowler seems a little bit mediocre, although maybe I want to leave one in to pod through. I actually don't hate trimming some of this card against a control deck. Just because like having a bunch of them out or having it out without other threats isn't great. Seems good. They did play a few, you're not wrong. Alright, I'm gonna run to the restroom really quick. Oh. This isn't amazing, but it's fine. Has Spark Double been added to Party Bus? It's not. I don't think it really helps that deck. Yeah, I trimmed the Beast Whisperer out of the sideboard. I don't think that card's particularly good. I think if I wanted more card advantage, I'd much rather just have a Planeswalker. What's Elite Scale Guard? Alright, so I'm going to play Leyline Prowler here, I think. And then next turn I can Duress and play Thief of Sanity. Alright, well. Yikes. Do we just concede? I think we're just dead, right? I think we're just dead. Alright, I'm gonna cut the Scavengers and put the Chupacabras back in so I can take their thieves. I would encourage you to look up Zowsy. Look up Zowsy, how clone effects interact with coming in from and out of the school bus. Hint, they don't work the way you want them to. This hand's like not amazing. Hopefully it draws something to do. God, that's so good. I'm gonna play an untapped land here, just in case my opponent has a Spell Pierce. Yeah, cards that enter the battlefield simultaneously can't copy each other.
Make this quick. I'm bored already. A mind is a terrific thing to waste. Perish the thought.
Alright, spin the wheel. Spin, 2, win. That is an aggressive contempt before they see what I'm getting with this Arkbow.
Ugh, what a whiner. Our contract is voided.
Believe it or not, this was not the droid I was hoping for. I think I'm gonna do this, grab Overgrown Tomb, and then Thought Erasure them. Gonna take their draw 2 here. I think the plan is just to grind them out. Wow, they scryed both to the top. Okay. So much for grinding them out. Yeah, if they kill my Planeswalker, it's still a 2-for-1. My Planeswalker drew a card, so it's still a 2-for-1 for me. So yeah, I get that, like, emotionally it feels bad that they get to kill my thing right away, but I just played against a Rhythm of the Wild Thief of Sanity deck. That's awesome.
Will remake the multiverse in my image.
Well, the way they tapped, they can't kill my Vivien here.
Master.
If they don't have a removal spell for this elf, we're actually in a pretty good spot. Because we get to, like, Chupacabra their thing and then kill their other thing. Oh, they don't have 5 black. Got it. That makes sense.
I'm not losing everything again. No one knows the wilds like I do.
All right.
I always survive. You'll see.
That puts Niv up to 4. It's unfortunate.
Defiances infuriate. My schemes are never ending.
Yeah, it's gonna be all she wrote on that one. I'll lose like 400 spots on that loss. Oh look, only 350. That's encouraging. Oh, the ladder. When do we flip pigs? We've been on this for about 30 minutes or so. So still a little bit. The mono white deck usually doesn't have things we can duress on too. And because I don't have a 2-drop set up to play next turn, I think I'd rather just go tapped Overgrown Tomb this turn, and then tap Breeding Pool Duress, take their History of Benalia, and then we can curve like 3-4 here, hopefully. The fact that we're on the draw might mean we're too slow this game, though. Hey, Podgens, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Yikes! Gideon is terrifying. That is definitely the yoink. Feels a little bit bad to leave them with removal. If they don't hit a land for Marshall for another turn, they might actually spend removal on this just because it's a 2-3 that stonewalls them. But if they hit the land for Marshall, we're going to be in trouble. That's not a good scene. It just feels like we're gonna be too slow here. Cause like I can Vannifar, but then we're gonna take 6 after they exile her. Maybe I was supposed to leave them Gideon and like take the Conclave Tribunal, but then like I'd be getting beat down by a Gideon in a similar spot, so I'm not sure it really matters. We're going down to 4 here. I guess Biogenic Ooze keeps me in it. It's a live draw. Got 2 of those. Hostage Taker also decent here. How about Hydroid Krasis? That doesn't do it, right? Hydroid Krasis could draw Llanowar Elves. Alright, got some okay tools here. I kind of don't mind this as just a 3-4, but that might be a little slow. Thief of Sanity is meh. Duress isn't very good here. I guess that's 60. That doesn't seem unreasonable. Plaguecrafter's no good here, even though it's kind of removal, because they tend to have so many mediocre creatures. I think this is... I don't know if this is good, but I think it's the best we can do with our setup. Let's see how this feels. Hopefully, our Plague Mares will be able to come in clutch. Hey, Smoochy Leo, thanks for the Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Welcome, welcome. Yes, is green-red pig feels like a good deck to put after the Vannifar deck, because, like, this deck's got a lot of what can we find, what are our outs, and the pig deck, we're just gonna, like, put our giant monsters on the table and attack. I am glad the Mythic Championship finally added, I'm glad they finally added time-shifted feature matches. That was a much needed addition. This is an excellent Hearthstone hand. Unfortunately, Magic needs land, so we're gonna have to try again. This hand's, like, good if we have any 2 or 3 drops, so I'm gonna keep Inscribe. Oh, that's wonderful. You mean the company that gets upset at people for posting anything negative on social media doesn't understand how to social media, Marty? Weird. I don't believe you. I have enjoyed people using hashtag Mythic Championship. It's been A+. Hey, Arthanus, here's for 3 months and loving your unbridled joy for brewing-based content. Well, thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. So, Prime Speaker could eat a Conclave Tribunal. I think I'm just supposed to Chupacabra here because it guaranteed keeps them from flipping this. While this is obviously a slightly better blocker, I think prioritizing keeping the Legion's Landing unflipped is ideal here. It's strictly optimal to play Hinterland Harbor here because it gets the last ugly non-foil card out of our hand. Poor Hinterland Harbor, living in shame. Alright, I mean, if they don't have a way to take either of these off the table here, we're gonna put Ooze into play next turn and, like, get to kind of go to town. Because I can pod into Ooze and activate it to make it friendo. So I have 5, 6, 7. So even if this lives, I can't double activate. Oh, that's brutal. Woof.
Share in my light.
Alright, let's throw you under the bus. This chump blocks here, and then I think I double this one. Take 8, go to 8. We got you, Blitz. And this card is really powerful. Brutal. So, do I just like play this, activate this, pass? Because this will be a 4/6 once Ooze makes it bigger, and then that means I can block this even, and then they can only attack me with this. That gives me a little bit of breathing room. I think that's better. Like my other line is like pod this into flip it and hope to hit a live card in my 2 draws, but I think this is better. Oh, Gideon is getting into murder a thing range. I don't know. I think if they trade Gideon for one of my things, I'm okay with that. I boarded out Muldrotha because it's not very good against aggro. You have a Conclave Tribunal? Or are they just counting? Hey, Gamer Rep. Thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. You actually don't get a new promo for Diamond. It's Gold and Platinum 4 are where you get the alternate art things. I have another Gideon.
Darkness be gone.
Alright. Flip it. Give me 2 good ones, please. I'm lost, but I am seeking. Little homunculus. Yikes. Yikes. Alright, let's try. I mean, we said when we started this, right, that I was expecting to die to white and red aggro because our deck just, like, has a bunch of clunk in the trunk and doesn't really have a lot of respect for it. So, like, that's not really an unsurprising match result there. This hand's okay. Has Duress is a little bit of cheap interaction. Has Leyline Prowler as well. I think I'm just going to go tapped on 1. I don't have a 2-drop anyways, and this saves me some points of health in case they're playing something aggressive. Oh, we're playing against Subeats. You can probably watch this match from both sides. I believe he was streaming as well. 4-color control, huh? Kaya's Wrath is not something we want to deal with in our creature deck. Warrant is a good one to know to be able to play around. So they can't cast Oath of Kaya because they don't have black mana. I wonder if they're playing... They must be playing a Niv Mizzet deck, huh? Like the random... All the random 2-color cards. Land. Land. Ew. Okie dokie. Yep. Huh. If one is good, 2 must be better, right? Alright, so we're gonna pod this up into a hostage taker. There aren't really good 3s to pot into, though, right? I feel like this deck really needs, like some kind of value 3 in the middle here. Yeah, even just like a Jade Light. Yoink. You made that. I made that. All right. They got a bunch of cards here. They got Kaya's Wrath and another Krasis. My only Chupacabra is in my hand. I have another Hostage Taker in my deck, though. I don't have a way to interact with this Kaya's Wrath out of their hand, though, is the issue. So I could, like, level this up into a Hostage Taker and, like, Hostage Taker their Niv. The thing I'm thinking about is, like, how do I play through the Kaya's Wrath? I'm not really sure that I can. Oh, that's totally the line. Hostage Taker the Chromatic Lantern. Yep. Because they don't have any black lands in play. Alright, I'm sure they're about to just play another Chromatic Lantern and wrath us anyways, but that was a sweet line and I'm proud that we got there. Rats! We're so unlucky. We were so smart and thin, chat. We were so smart and thin. We were so clever. They have Othakaya just sitting here waiting to do mean stuff to us. I think I just do this. I think I'm gonna get the Arkbow down. I want to get the Arkbow down. So I assume this is gonna eat it to this. They might just Krasis this turn too, though. So I'm gonna do this, and then I have 4, 5, 6, which is probably plenty of lands. Well, I guess the Incubation Druid doesn't do a whole lot. Yeah, I'm gonna shock this in to give myself the extra look here. And then we'll start bowing. Ideally, we want to bow into the Muldrotha, because if we bow into the Muldrotha, we can take these other lanterns. And like, if they want to put a warrant out for Deathgorge Scavenger's arrest, like, that's not a big deal. Justice reigns from above. Yep. I wonder if he's just not playing black lands in the deck, and they're just like just casting Kaya's Wrath off of Chromatic Lantern. Alright, that's what I wanted for Christmas. Do I spark double my Muldrotha? Does that let me... Does spark doubling Muldrotha let me cast another creature? I think it does. Let's find out for science. Alright. I think I'm just passing. I want to hold this land for Vivien's Arkbow. If they have the third Kaya's Wrath, we're in trouble here. They're probably also playing the red-white sweeper, if I had to venture a guess. Alright, this gets back their Hydroid Krasis, but that's not really relevant because it just dies. I guess it means I can't cast it next turn. Opponent says Savit's from Magic, too. He made the top 4 of the Mythic Invitational, I believe. If I recall correctly. He also streamed a good bit of Magic as well. Alright, so I probably don't want them to warrant either of these, huh? Wait. Why isn't it letting me spark double? Is it bugged, or is that how that's supposed to work? Anyone know? Grapnar, thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. That's bugged, right? Well, they stacked last turn. It stacked the turn. The turn we did it, I got to play another one. It did it the first time. Do I want to attack into this Warrant? I still have copies of Duress in my deck, right? I'm not sure I want to attack into the Warrant. I think I'm just going to pass. I should attack with the Spark Double because I can't use it anyways. Maybe. This looks like a game of EDH. It really does. Hey, Kaiser Ooze, thanks for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. What a silly game. Go. Oh, that's true. If I attack with it, it goes to the top, and then I could bow back into it. It's a good catch. Oh, that's really good. I'll take a Prime Speaker for later. What a silly game. The Arkbow has been incredibly impressive in the games we've played so far. Like I said, a lot of times when we're playing decks like this with new cards that I'm like mostly trying to get a feel for like which cards seem good, bad, or otherwise, and the Arkbow is a card that definitely like stands out to me with all the things we've been playing so far as a wow, this is good. Hey, Brad. Thanks for checking out Quip. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy your brush. I know I said this wasn't modern playable. I don't know that I said this wasn't standard playable. People were thinking about this card in modern. I think it's too slow and fair for modern. In standard, I think especially if Esper remains the control deck to beat, this card's really good because it dodges Mortify. Yeah, Bow plus God seems really impressive. I think I just want to trim Llanowar Elves here. Although, maybe I want to trim a split on these just because, like, turning Elf into Flibbit is, like, really good. Alright, yeah, I'm going to do that. You used my tier 3 to submit a really crappy blue-black control deck yesterday, so I know you'd hate it. Instead, will you play this big red deck? Sure. I thought the blue-black control deck looked reasonable for what it's worth, but I'm definitely happy to play a big red deck. This is missing a color, but otherwise very reasonable. I guess Leyline Prowler technically fixes my missing color, huh? Okay, kind of rewarded here for having a spread of mana dorks. Who is my personal favorite Magic streamer to watch? Probably Day9. He's also like, he's a really good content producer in general, and he's super convenient for my schedule. He's usually live when I sign off for the day, so I often flip him on while I'm doing my wrap-up work. He's also just like a quality human being, which is a plus as well. Like he's good at his job and he's a quality human being, so it's like a win-win. Alright, What do you got? Time Wipe and Poop. Are they casting a Niv next turn? They are casting a Niv next turn. I'm floating my mana manually for this because I want to make sure I get my attack in so it doesn't tap itself. No, we're not embedded anywhere. We actually factually have almost 3,000 people in here, and y'all are great. Wow, that's a lot of good hits. We're gonna draw like 5 cards here. That being said, I have 4, 8, 9, I have 10 mana, so this is gonna draw me 4 cards next turn, which is nice. It's bringing all the boys to the yard, that's for sure. Hey, Greg, thanks for re-upping the Prime support. Wow, they elected for Tamiyo as opposed to the Hydroid Krasis. I guess that makes sense. Time Wipe's a card they probably want out of their bin here. That's a Prime Speaker, Vannifar. She probably just eats it, though, right? This is 5, and this is 5. I'm just going to play this for 8. Yikes! Our draw 4 was a bit worse than their draw 4. It's a teensy bit worse. Yeah, it's bigger, but it's probably about to be added to a trophy case. Optimus dies. Thank you for the 4 months. Welcome back. War hype indeed. How is the day treating me? The Magic's going really well. I have a little bit of a headache, but other than that, doing pretty okay. Tamiyo, yep. They don't actually have double white currently for this time card in their board. Wow, they wanted Kaya's Wrath and they hit it. They're still missing double white though. Am I out of basics? What a tilt. I drew my only basics. Okay, that's a good hit though. This allows me to kill Niv, kill Tamiyo.
How this thing go? This is not. Let's do this again.
I have learned little here.
As far as draws in our deck go, that was definitely one of the better ones. Is Prowler good? I don't know. It has weird stats. That is fantastic. Yep, she's gone. So, do I attack with this to get them to warrant it so that way Thief can possibly hit them next turn? I think that's the game plan. They don't have double white, so they can't currently cast Kaya's Wrath without a top deck. And if they play Niv, without Mortify mana up, I can play Rexage, pod Rexage into a Hostage Taker or a Chupacabra and take this out of the way and then hit them with this. Alright, yeah, so we just play this. I think I just Hostage Taker. I think I want to leave the Chupacabra in there for later. They didn't draw a land, so I'm going to smack them with the Thief of Sanity before I decide if I want to cast this Krasis or not. So I could guarantee draw one here, but I have so little going on. I have so little going on that I'm just gonna play the Chromatic Lantern. We're hoping to dodge a white source here. Things like Muldrotha, our own Hydroid Krasis pull us back into this game. Land does not. We have so much mana that we definitely still have live top decks to come climbing back in here. I want to make sure I keep one land in my hand so that way if I draw Vivien's Arkbow, I can have a card to discard to activate it. This means Hostage Taker's also a live draw for us. Probably heading to a game 3 here, though. Good lord. Alrighty then. Seems decent. I mean, we're basically playing Brawl, right? We're like playing EDH with standard legal cards. Alright. On to game 3. Let's deck them. That's probably unreasonable. I don't know. I think even without attacking into a warrant there, we're still pretty dead. I could see it being right to mulligan this. I don't know. Let's just draw an Incubation Druid. Or a discard spell. Like, the first game that we played in this match makes me think that keeping a hand like this is probably fine. Just because I do feel like we have the tools to possibly win a game as we go along. I'll take Hydroid Krasis here. I'm going to bin the land. And then next turn, they'll play Lantern and we'll Hostage Taker it. Alright, do I just Rexage it? I just Rexage it now, right? And then they'll play Firemind's Vessel, and next turn I'll get to untap and play Vivien and shoot it. Yep.
Tamio, it is an honor to meet you.
Yeah, no problem, Jick. As a heads up, you can also find deck lists in the video descriptions of all my YouTube videos. If you click the show more button, you'll find a link as well as a copy and paste text version. Mostly watch YouTube when I'm bored late at night. Appreciate the channel. Duckstar, thank you for the quarter of a year of support. I appreciate you keeping me around. I like tanking on what they want to name here. I think I just Vivien.
Wild animals I like. The wilds are my shield.
I think I just take Findbroker here to pick my Viv back up in case things go sideways. The Steamkin deck with the blue splash has been pretty appealing. On something that I also do that many people aren't aware of is that on my website, you can find, if you click videos favorite, there's a list of all of the decks I like the most. This is why we took the Golgari Findbroker. So Rex Sage gets to kill this.
All stories must end.
If I hostage taker this, they can't Kaya's Wrath me next turn, which seems appealing. And it keeps their mana awkward, so I think I'm gonna do that. Is that worthwhile? No, I'm just gonna Findbroker. No, I'm just gonna Findbroker and pick my Vivien back up. If they want to Kaya's Wrath these two, that's fine. Because, like, if I hostage taker this, they, like, just get to play this next turn. And Treasure Map's kind of a unique effect, Thimgan. Search for Azcanta's close, but it's not really, doesn't really fill the exact same role. The fixing on the mana on Treasure Map's a big deal. Casualty, Warrant Warden, Mortify, yep. Do I just take their Lantern here? I think I just take their Lantern now. Because they're totally stumbling on colors and mana. The opponent's deck looks like where wild cards go to die. Oh, that's such a good line. This has been a long match. It's been good back and forth though.
I didn't live through hell to lose to you.
So we're definitely attacking for 6. Do I shoot this or do I shoot the vessel? I'm probably supposed to shoot the vessel, right? Otherwise they get to do Casualty of War next turn.
I've seen worse.
Because, like, if they attack Vivien, I crack them for 3 to 6 and then play a giant Krasis.
Not again.
So this is for 6. Alright, don't Kaya's Wrath me. We're sitting here trying to fade the Kaya's Wrath mana. Yep. Was that attack a misclick? It's super aggressive. Clarion and Wrath. Yeah, they can't cast Wrath either. Yeah, if they hit... The problem is, like, if they hit the red for Clarion, like, they get to lifelink. This, hitting them to 2 cuts them off of Shocklands, though, which is sweet. Weird game. So they stumbled on mana and colors of mana, but we also, like, induced that stumble in a way, right? Because, like, we attacked their Chromatic Lanterns and their 4-drop, their Vessel of Bolas. Alright, we're gonna play one more with the Vannifar deck, and then we're gonna floop some pigs. Well, I mean, to be fair to the merit of which their deck was built, like, they wouldn't have stumbled if we hadn't taken away their artifacts. Yeah, we were basically stone raining their fixing. So, like, their deck as constructed, if we hadn't taken their stuff away, would have been functional. We just had tools to interact with their artifacts. Since I have Flippant on 2, I'm just going to Duress right away. Alright, mono blue, eh? Hydroid Krasis is actually a great draw here, because this is just a 2/2 flyer, is, like, very good in this matchup. Hopefully we hit our next 2 land drops here. 6 mana, 6/6. Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what I want for Christmas. Yikes! They drew a Merfolk Trickster. Woof. Vivien showing the class why she's truly awkward against mono blue, even though she technically kills flying creatures. Brick on a land! Brick on a land! Rats. Alright, so I get to stick a creature this turn at least. I think it's Hostage Taker. Because if they save this with this, or a dive down, this still blocks this profitably, which is nice. My birthday is the 29th. Can I get an early present in the form of a timeout? Definitely, Bomb Squad. Happy birthday. Happy early birthday. I should be live on the 29th. Yep. So, like, I don't really want to get this countered, but it uses all my mana this turn, which is nice. And, like, if I draw another land next turn, I could go Chupacabra plus Leyline Prowler in the same turn. I think they're pretty likely to counter the Chupacabra, though, so I could, like, potentially bait the counter with this. The appeal of being able to double spell a following turn is high, though. They have an Essence Capture, I'm quite sad. Well, they have a Spell Pierce, so playing the Vivien is super wrong until I get my 7th land. Alright. They have a Dive Down. Okay. I like this play from them. I'm not going to attack with this Hostage Taker, because in the event they have another Trickster, the dealing 2 points to them is not worth taking a bunch on the backswing. Yep. Alright, probably dead. Alright, so we need them to brick on these two plus their next draw. And then we need to draw a land or a Hostage Taker. Alright, we're dead. Like I mentioned when we started, you know, we were able to beat up on Savitsa's deck, which is a little bit more of a mid-range control deck, but we're having a hard time with these aggressive decks. They're definitely not what we're looking to face in an ideal world. Crossbow's pretty slow. Arkbow's pretty slow. I guess Rex Sage kills a Curious Obsession. I think Thought Erasure is too slow. This seems fine. I think this is fine. Take our curve and drag it down a bit. Monsters played 20 basics with the new set drops. Yeah, they wanna farm up that rank. There's people registering sweet cards. They're gonna stumble and die. I think Thought Erasure is passable against Mono Blue in some situations, but in general, Mono Blue is the type of matchup where you want to be beating them when they're playing by keeping their board clear, and Thought Erasure doesn't help you keep their board clear. So, generically speaking, Mono Blue is referred to as a tempo deck, and tempo decks stand to get ahead by being more mana efficient than you. And a card like Thought Erasure is spending 2 mana to take a card for them, but you're not making them spend any mana on that card. So Thought Erasure is technically tempo negative. And while it feels emotionally very, very satisfying to cast a lot of the times, it leaves a lot to be desired in a lot of positions in my experience. In this matchup. Hey, what's going on, Top Toe? Thanks for the biddies, I appreciate it. Yeah, I catch a lot of Europeans in the evening and then people who watch US during the workday. So you'll notice I put a stop there during my end steps. I felt like my opponent was pretty likely to have a Merfolk Trickster there, and I wanted to be able to Moment of Craving it before they untap for the turn. I think I'm just gonna Thief of Sanity here. They could have Essence Capture, but something's gonna get Essence Captured at some point. If they Essence Capture onto this, it's a 2/2 that can now no longer adapt, which is nice for me. My audience is actually majority US still. Like Twitch and YouTube both give me metrics breakdown. I'm pretty sure I have more US than European. Yep. This game was such a good example of the axis that what you really don't want to be fighting the mono blue deck on is the axis of trying to interact with them. Generally speaking, the way in which you profitably beat the mono blue deck is being able to race them, which is why the green mid-range decks that play the Wild Growth Walker package tend to be reasonable against mono blue because they can gain a bunch of life and race. What's going on, Jonah? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, maybe the lifelink on the Leyline Prowlers can keep us in this, but they're just drawing so many cards now, probably doesn't matter. Our average card draw is more powerful than theirs, but they're getting 3 card draws per turn, so we just don't stack up. Nah, I think you're reading too much into that, Tube. I think they likely just, it's just correct to diversify. Deck Q link loads as expected here. All things considered, my gut instinct hitting into this deck felt like it was correct when it played out in practice. We beat up on the other greedy mid-range control decks in the format that were trying to respect aggro, and then our deck really lacked respect for aggressive decks. So we got completely dumpstered, not close, by mono blue there, and the white aggro deck also is very, very bad for us. I think if you're trying to build Vannifar to be competitive in this format, not playing the Wild Growth Walker package is just wrong. I think there's too many aggressive decks that are too reasonable that not having that. I know it's a lot of slots to play, but you just need those cards at your bottom end to let you buy time to get to your powerful top end. Like Vannifar and Ooze and the other things these archetypes can be doing are so powerful in the late game that like playing the Wild Growth Walker package to make sure we get to the late game is like really pivotal. All right, speaking of